Welcome, everybody. Hello, hello, hello.
And we're live. Welcome to another Sunday with the Punters. I'm Blue Shirt Buddha. The handsome devil behind the controls out in lovely Western Canada is Flippin' Zippo. And Ennis Something's with us. Hello, everybody.
Hey, everyone.
Thomas asks if you can post the link in the chat.
Yeah, I am trying again, and it's buggering me up.
All right, just want to say hello to some guys who are joining us. Hands, Knees, and Toes, Junior Johnson, HBA, Underachieving Watch Collector, Geezer, Dan Tillerman, Lexter Dexter, thank you for joining us. Showcase Watches, hey James. Orange Hand. I think I've pretty much got everybody so far. Welcome, everybody, welcome. Turkey Vulture, what's up, pal? And Carlos, my friend, or my Doxa brother from Panama. How are you, Carlos? Good to see you.
Yo, ID guy.
And ID guy, welcome, welcome.
How are you feeling today, man?
Yeah, it sounded like he had a rough night yesterday.
Oh, Thomas, I'm sorry, man. This'll take me a bit here, I think.
Glad you guys all could join us.
Well,
there we go.
There
it is, finally.
Yeah, 80th time's a charm, eh?
No problem, no problem. So we'll just wait till Thomas joins us. He's going to join us from his phone to start off with.
Pudge Optimus. Love that name. And yeah, as usual, anybody wants to join in, click that link and say hello.
James, what's up?
How are you doing? You all right?
Yeah, we're good. We're good. Thank you for joining us.
Hi, James.
Hey, Ennis, something, you all right?
Yeah, good.
Thomas.
Hi,
Hey,
everybody.
Thomas.
How's
Hey,
it going?
Hey,
How are you doing
Thomas.
this Sunday? Hi, James.
The man,
as well.
the man, the myth, the legend, Thomas Burnett.
How's it all going, guys?
We're good, man. We're good. We're better
Good
now
to
that you're
see
here.
Yep, absolutely.
Good to see you.
I think we're probably doing better than what ID guy's doing.
Yeah.
Oh, he's had a rough night out on the
Yeah,
town, hasn't he?
Sounded like he's a little banged up from last night.
Lexter Dexter on the line. How are you?
Dexter. How are you, Lexter?
Fine, good. Sunday.
Good.
Flipping, how many
First of all,
people?
cheers to that.
Hey, we got half a dozen. Very good, thank you.
How many people are you allowed on Flipping?
10.
Oh, cool. I was going to say I'll drop off if you were waiting on my own.
No, all good. Usually everybody's pretty good about not talking over each other and all that, so the more the merrier as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Hey, Chip Gage, welcome.
Oh, and let's hope his internet holds up.
And we got the rancher.
Hey,
Okay,
Clive.
guys. I'm trying this on my phone. Can you guys hear me?
We
Yeah.
can.
Can you find
Yeah.
Rancher? Loud and clear.
Sorry.
Hey, Clive, that was a good thing you did last night.
Yeah, it was. Absolutely.
Oh, so that show good? Yeah, thanks for I really appreciate it. Yeah, sorry. Thanks.
Let the battle begin. So anyway, you want to start us off, Thomas?
Yeah, sure. I'll just get started off. Here we go. Right, yeah. So I've had a couple of watches come in this week, and yeah, one was this Seiko Flightmaster, which was a gift from a friend, a very good friend. An analog quartz chronograph pilot's watch with a bidirectional slide bezel, available at Joma Shop for £249, which is a saving of 47% off the 475 retail. This is a good entry-level watch at the price point that attracts watch enthusiasts to the hobby, and a lot of collectors usually own a Seiko, and if you're going to own one that isn't a vintage piece, then this is a great one to own, I think. And it's 42 millimeters, 13 millimeters thick, and it has a Seiko caliber 7162 quartz in it. It's 200 meter water resistant. It's got the date at 3 o'clock, and then it's got an alarm function, a chronograph. There's a steel bracelet on it at the moment, but this slide rule bezel, it's got loads of functions. It's got an alarm. The slide rule bezel lets you calculate all sorts of things like fuel consumption calculations and flight climb calculations, all sorts of things I can't work out on it. All sorts of things which I haven't worked out, but it's got a lovely little chronograph, which I've been getting into chronographs recently. I mean, you can elapse this one and pause it for a bit, and then press and it'll catch up. So it's quickly like that. Cool. So it's got all sorts of pausing functions and
that's cool.
Just showed. So
very
catch
cool.
Up and then
just do us all a favor. Just don't call it the Flighty.
Yeah, yeah, the Flightmaster. But it's a nice watch. I mean, it's 42 millimeters, but I've been wearing a lot bigger watches recently, and I found I'll put it on, and I found it wears.
You don't find it too big. You find it wears well.
I found it wears quite small on me. I found. I don't know. It's just because I've been used to wearing bigger watches. But
Nice.
Another, I'd like to give a shout out to Jacko at NDC straps as well, because I got this strap for it, which is a Naga de Combat strap for it. One of their NATOs, elasticated. These are the French military NATOs, and
very nice.
they're
the elastic
really
ones,
nice.
Right?
Yeah, the elasticated parachute.
Very cool.
Ones.
I've always wanted to try one of those straps.
Yeah. They're well worth the money. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
Welcome, ID guy, and welcome, Neo.
Hey guys, everyone.
Hey guys.
Hi, Neo. Yeah, but this is. I haven't actually put it on the watch yet. I'm just trying on the bracelet. I was a bit disappointed with the bracelet, to be honest with you, on this watch. This is another shout out to NDC. Shout out to NDC straps. But I was a bit disappointed with the bracelet on this watch. It wasn't that sturdy, but I suppose for the price you're paying, $250, I mean, you can't expect the world. But it wasn't as sturdy as I thought it'd be. But moving on to the Ingersoll Regent chronograph, which was the other chronograph I got. Established in 1892, the Ingersoll name was made with the introduction of the Yankee model in 1896, which sold for the price of $1, which eventually coined the phrase "the watch that made the dollar famous." And Ingersoll was the brand that first introduced the now iconic Mickey Mouse watch, and followed throughout the years with recognizable characters such as Betty Boop, Donald Duck, Popeye, and Captain Marvel. And today they're producing stylish and reliable, affordable, everyday watches with a wide range of styles. And this one, the Regent, I thought was absolutely gorgeous. Comes on this lovely mesh strap, and again, it's a quartz chronograph again. And
did somebody have a tumble or something?
It sounded like it.
That was me. It was totally me.
But this is a lovely one. I'll show you this one on the wrist. It's this is using a Ronda quartz movement.
Yeah, that's
Swiss
good
Ronda.
looking, Thomas. That's real good looking.
Yeah, I'll show you this one on the wrist.
What are all the markers? Are those minutes? Oh yeah, that's what it's spelling out. It's spelling out the minutes.
Oh. Raj, what? Sorry, Thomas. 1 second here. See what?
Clive's jumped in. Oh, sweet.
Yeah, so this
Nice.
this is available on watchshop.com for £179, and
Get
so
that chronograph.
similar price to the Flightmaster, but this is a 47mm watch,
That's huge.
15mm thick. It's 50 watt resistant, and it's got this fold-over deployment clasp on the mesh bracelet, and part of the 1892 collection. And
How do you- How do you like the mesh bracelet?
I love it. I think it's gorgeous. It's really comfortable, really nice and comfortable.
Are they hair pullers?
Not at all. Not at all. Doesn't catch your hairs at all.
And I'm guessing the lug width is like, what, 24-ish?
Yeah, that's what it looks like. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a really nice, really good looking piece. And I love the gold numerals on the dial. If you can make those out, if the light isn't bleaching those out too much, but it's a lovely dial.
Really nice, Thomas. Really nice.
Yeah.
But I much prefer that to the Flightmaster, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
But as people are saying, a lot that the Flightmaster is a really good one to have in the collection if you're going to have a Seiko. But as you say, don't call it the Flighty.
No. Oh. only if we get a sod on here, then he can call it the Flighty.
And I've got another book review for you. Well, not review, but just a quick overview, because there's 400 pages in this book, so it's a bit too much to review. But this is Best of Time Rolex wristwatches. This is the James Dowling and Jeffrey B. Hess book. It's one heck of a book, this one.
Now, how long was the wait list for that book?
I actually won this in a raffle and got it signed by James Dowling. So I didn't have to wait for this one, Clive.
Nice.
But
Very nice.
This one has some amazing photos of vintage pieces. This is, if you want to get into vintage Rolex and you're interested in pictures of really early vintage Rolex, there's some amazing photos in here. And this just goes through all the pre-bubble back. I mean, look at these, like, for an Explorer dial, that. A really early Explorer dial. And just some of the models in it are just
Look at that.
fascinating.
That's amazing.
Well, if you're going to go into vintage Rolex, I have two words:
California dials and
Kevlar underwear, because you're entering the minefield.
Mm.
But it's just full of amazing pictures, this one. And a lot of history, he really knows his stuff, James Darling, about the history of all the models, the Explorers, the Datejusts, the how to spot fakes, and
Wow. And you won this, Thomas? That's awesome.
I won this. Yeah, I won this in a raffle. It was, but it's as I say, it's 400 pages long. It's an absolute monster of a book, and it just goes on and on with.
That's amazing. I love that. Look at those drawings, those tech drawings. Love it.
Now, what kind of reference is really catching your eye out of the book? Which one is the one that you're flipping through again, reading it for the second, third time. You stop at what pace do you stop at?
It's the really early ones, like that early Explorer dial I showed you, 1920s Explorer dials, and the very first Explorer dials. And they're just fascinating to see that. I mean, to see that something like that came from the 20s.
Space Dweller. Oh wow, cool.
No ID guy, do you know what that one is?
Yeah, Space Dweller. A little bit of a unsung hero.
Yeah, Japanese only release.
There's a great video from, I think it's a vintage dealer in the Netherlands. I think it's in the Netherlands, either that or Germany.
Amsterdam Vintage Watches.
Yeah, that one. And they have a video with, I think it's 5 or 6 of those super rare Rolex models, including that one. Really interesting pieces.
Oh, I'll have to check that out.
But this is quite all the different bracelets as well, all the different types
awesome.
of bracelets. And
Isn't it sad to think that all they have now are oysters and jubilees and the president, of course, but
California dials and the
Wow.
Oh, you forgot Oyster Flex.
Oh yeah, let's not forget oyster flex. Rubber.
No, I think he meant real bracelets.
Yeah. I handled one yesterday, and I must say, it's pretty nice. With a white gold watch attached to it, it's pretty nice. Not bad.
But yeah, it's a lot of technical drawings for you, ID guy here.
Yeah, I dig it. I mean, that's all done by hand. It's incredible seeing this. It's just, it's proper work of art in its own right. Original screw-down crowns. Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah,
1925. Jeez, like.
Yeah, so that's my book recommendations. The best of time, but I think this is over $100. This one.
Is it really?
Ouch.
Wow.
Yeah, it's quite an expensive book.
But that's awesome.
Yeah, so that's the book recommendation. It's a very good one.
Very good.
Sweet. How's everyone doing? Better than me. Better than me, I hope.
I was just going to ask, how are you? The question is, how are you doing?
Paracetamol, coffee, lots of eggs and butter, and a bit of a run and some calisthenics this evening, and I'm good. I'm back to normal again. But it was bad. Yesterday was really bad.
You sound good from what you described.
It was. I mean, this morning was appalling, but it started off great. It was a one-on-one meet, chatting about watches, and then we went from a one-on-one to 5, and then so it goes. And then more watches started being thrown around, and then deals started being made, and it was a shit show. It turned out. But the best part was I woke up this morning with wallet in my pocket and an Explorer on my wrist. So I'm happy.
Nice.
It's good.
Yeah, that's the other thing that I want to know.
Yeah.
What do you think about the one of my favorite watches, the Explorer?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to do a little, I don't know, initial impressions this week maybe, but so far, maybe it's just the alcohol in my system still, but a little bit underwhelmed, if I'm being honest.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
Things like, just stupid things like the crystal. I find the crystal it just doesn't make sense to me. It's so, it mats in certain lights, it just mats out the watch,
I'm just going to switch to my computer. I'll be a second.
Yeah,
no problem.
But it's not my watch. I have to mention it's a guy called Sam. I found him on Instagram, and he wanted to lend it into the channel, so I'll have it for a good month. And it's going to be very interesting comparing it to a couple of other pieces and just try and wrap my head around it. It's a very, I mean, talk about finish and fit, and that is just, it wears so well. That's obvious. Movement was a bit of a strange one too, but we can talk about all of that at a later stage.
Okay.
I don't know. It's almost like I've been spoilt seeing so many other pieces that this is maybe a bit too basic. Is that hard? Is that bad to say?
No, not at all.
It feels in that. I mean, at the moment, it's only be on the wrist for like 12 hours. So
no,
takes a little time. Turkey Vulture says, "Yeah, I agree."
From what I've seen of what other people have said about the Explorer, it seems to be one of those watches that people have to have it on the wrist for a period of time to sort of gel with the watch.
Yeah, it does feel that way. I mean, the owner said to me that some days he wakes up and thinks it's this wonky-toothed brother of what the Explorer should be, and other days he thinks it's fantastic. So I'm inclined to agree. It's a strange beast. I don't know. There's lots to think about. I feel in a way that it's almost like they're trying too hard, bringing up the size of the watch like this. Does the presence need to be this size? I don't know. It's worth investigating over the next couple of weeks, I reckon.
Now,
Yeah, but they're making them all bigger, right?
Yes.
Even the OPs are now
41.
Even bigger. Yep.
Yeah, I know. So God help them.
now, what I want to know, ID guy, is do you find yourself experiencing a sense of irony?
Yes, definitely.
Because you thought, here it is, Saturday night, I'm going to take a break from the damn live stream. And then
It got even worse.
By the end of the night, you're still at 300 watches.
Yeah, pretty much. And hungover on a different level, though. You know, not from talking so much, just beers and Negronis and chatting about what.
Over.
Yeah, literally. Yeah, but it's good. It was such a nice night. I mean, the best thing is when there's so many different communities in the space. You know, you've got the Instagram community, watch forums, YouTube space. You find these people that just come out of the woodwork that don't share their collections with others. It's almost like a very personal journey for them. And then all of a sudden they hear ID guys in the room, and then it just went a bit nuts. Brighton was really good. Pretty good day. Don't like being called that, but it was so much fun. Really
Did
good.
you write ID guy on your name tag?
No. I've had situations when I'm sitting in the room with a group of people, and then they actually talk about the channel, and then they'll nudge the dude and say, "You've been sitting next to him all night." That's happened before, and that was really funny. Most of the time, someone throws out the words, and then all of a sudden, it's so peculiar. I tell you what, I just feel like a normal person, but then all of a sudden, there's a whole hype train around it, and it's very anyway. Enough about
you and Archie are the only channels mentioned on Hodinky of people that we know of, right? It's you and Archie.
Bark and Jack as well, I think.
You take that back.
Yeah. There were a few others. At least I'm not from Australia. He didn't watch me from Australia. He said Bark and Jack's from Australia, ID guy South Africa. Pretty impressive actually that he works with Charlize Theron, so I guess he knows her background. Yeah. He's an interesting guy. Yeah, Miles Fisher, interesting dude.
Chasing time. It was nice talking to you too.
So, what's the plan, gents? What's on the cards?
I've lined up a few watches just for us that I've been looking at, just for us to start off with.
Nice.
Now, while you were showing your segment there, Clyde was showing something, and if he wants to show it again, now's a good time to do it.
Yeah, sure, it's live.
Put me on the spot.
Well, no, it's that little Azure chronograph I was telling you guys about.
Okay.
Actually, just think it's a dandy little watch, just gloriously 70s. And it's got a Valjoux 726 in it. It's always nice when you find a nice little watch that you buy for these sets and you find out it has the column wheel chronograph in the wine.
Right.
Nice.
Very nice.
My watch dealer did inside of it just now. Checked it out and said, I don't think the case has been cracked open since it lost that great.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's got a nice cushion style case.
Yep.
Very nice.
Yeah, lovely.
And a Day of the Dead dial, would you say?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And also, like if you're a former smoker,
Yeah, you can see the hands for sure.
Yeah. Yep.
What makes it a Day of the Dead dial?
The face reminds me of the masks that everyone wears.
Okay.
The festival has that kind of aesthetic. I don't know, that might be some better term.
Definitely a very nice and very classically 70s chronograph. I love it.
oh, thanks. And you could just, what's nice about it, you can just wear it around and enjoy it and not really be terribly, terribly concerned about it.
Right.
Yeah, that's the best part. The actual watch that stood out to me so much last night was probably the most underwhelming. It's a 33mm AP Royal Oak. Yellow gold.
Wow.
18 karat solid yellow gold. And it was just the epitome of a dress watch. I know 33 is for most wrists, it's very small, but wow. that really, I mean, after trying the modern ones, this watch from the 80s had all the, I mean, the bracelet was exceptional. The watch is basically new old stock.
Wow.
And as a daily wearer, this guy wears it most days. He thinks it's just, oh, it's fascinating. It's so under the radar for what it is. So yeah, talking about 70s inspired and all that background. It's awesome.
All right, so what you got for us, Thomas?
Yeah, well, the first one was by a company called Ocean 7. It's a small American company. Ocean 7 are trying to create tough and functional watches using styling cues such as plongeur, which is French for diver, hands, made famous by watches like the Ploprof, which they actually do a homage version of for about, I think about $600-700. And their guiding philosophy is that they have to be different to be better. So this watch is an absolute monster. It's made up of a solid pressure-formed block with an inner steel movement surrounding the bezel surround, and the bezel, crown, and caseback are matching PVD coated steel with the 120 click unidirectional bezel housing a ceramic insert. It's got a caliber ETA 2824-2, and there's 100 pieces made of this. It's 49.47 millimeters wide.
Wow.
And 17 thick. It's 1,500 meters water resistant, so it's a true diver. And it's 57 lug to lug.
That's a big boy. That's even big for me. Wow.
It's a big watch.
57. Wow.
I'd have to strap that to my ankle. I wouldn't be able to wear it. It's like a full-on ankle bracelet.
That's big. I mean, look at those lugs.
Yeah.
But I love it's a full ceramic case and everything, right?
Right.
This one's just a ceramic bezel.
Just the bezel ceramic?
Yeah,
that's a letdown. Oh.
There's people been talking about it, saying it's a ceramic case, but it's actually just a ceramic bezel on this one.
But a ceramic case that size would not be good because you'd crack it real well. Yeah, I mean those lugs, you'd hit them in a door frame once and that's it.
Yeah, so it's the date at 4:13. It's 145 grams, this one, so it's a big watch. It's a hefty watch.
Yeah, that's a huge watch.
I just saw this and I was blown away. I loved it.
It reminds me of like a Seiko Samurai kind of, and then a little bit of cross-pollination with some Omega handset references. It's interesting.
The plongeur handset.
Yeah, I can definitely see the Seiko Samurai in it.
And where the crown is placed. Where do we ever see a crown at 2 o'clock?
2 o'clock.
I
Yeah,
know, that was another thing I really liked. It's got a signed screw-down crown at 2 o'clock, and I
bet the designer must have
loved
just thought, "Hey, let's flip the case around. We'll have something different here." It's nice. Limited to only 100 pieces, they say.
Yeah,
Jeez.
100 pieces.
That's quite a short list.
man, you're gonna need one big honking wrist to wear this thing.
But it does say ceramic case in the back.
It does. There's been some discrepancy on it. There's some talk in some of the microbrand newsletters sort of saying it is ceramic. No, it isn't ceramic. No, it is ceramic. But we go on to the next watch, and it's also made by the same company, Ocean 7, and it is one of their ceramic watches. So this is actually a ceramic watch by the same company. The next one. And this is the Ocean 7 Meteor ceramic. Now this one's one for orange hand. This is available in orange, vintage, or black loom. And it's a 44mm one. It's 15mm thick, 100m water resistant. It's a Swiss automatic movement. It says for $799, or you can get a cost certified one for $999. It says the Meteor ceramic is the second generation of our exceptional ceramic dive watch. Over 2 years in development, it resulted in a unique one-of-a-kind watch not available anywhere but apart from Ocean 7. The case is unique in the industry. It is carefully and individually fitted with a steel inner case that houses the movement and anchors the case back and the domed sapphire crystal. Unlike similar cases on watches selling for $10,000 and more, our cases hides the inner steel case under the bezel in a sleek, clean-looking in a sleek, clean look only found on our precision machined ceramic case. And the mil-spec dial is made for quick and easy reading in both light and dark conditions. But I just love the one with the orange loom. I thought that was great.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a photo of what black loom looks like?
Oh.
Yeah, black loom. I mean, that's funny, isn't it?
Yeah, I forget what watch I've seen prior that had black loom, and it's, if you're a loom junkie, that's definitely not. It's not going to be for you.
That's the vintage loom, I think.
Yeah. Doesn't really show a loom shot of the.
It's a pet peeve when they don't show the actual loom shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
maybe we are looking at the loom shot. It's just
but I mean, you don't see many ceramic. This is the one that drew me to this one. Was you don't see many ceramic divers. You don't see many ceramic watches, and like they say, you're paying a lot of money normally for a ceramic diver. And to get one for $700, I thought was, or $800, I thought was pretty good.
It's interesting, but I think the reason why you don't see a lot of divers is that they're relatively fragile, right?
Right.
At least for impacts. So,
it's also very temperature sensitive too, which is a problem.
Yeah, I mean, when you go over the boat, if you hit the side of the boat, right? If you're wearing a Submariner or something like that, you'll get a scratch. You'll get a story to tell. With this one, you hit the lug will just chip off, and the watch will fall to the bottom. But you're diving, so you can conceivably go get it.
Can I just make an observation? May I just make an observation? It looks like Flippin' Zippo has left us. So
Zippo, you still with us?
He'll pop back on.
Yeah, that's interesting.
So somebody was saying somewhere, I was reading that there's some guy in the community that smashed his diver up against, like he was in the ocean and smashed his diver up and lost his watch.
He almost lost his life, is what I heard.
Really?
But a wave hit him or something, and he lost his watch. But he thought, he may not have made it.
Wow.
He also care, but that's totally unrelated to the diving incident.
Clive, I'm afraid it sounds like you're speaking through a pillow.
Yeah.
If you're there,
I'm here.
There you are. That's cool.
So they're okay.
Like,
all they did is just lose a watch, but they're physically okay and all that.
He's in rehab, some kind of rehab, I think.
Wow.
Nice to hear that story in a bit more context, a bit more detail, because it's serious. Hey, I mean,
well, he is.
There he is.
He's back.
He was already messed up in a lot of ways before the dive. So
yeah, it's so dicey. I tell you. I mean, friends my age, I've heard of stories. Lots of friends who are marine biologists, and you just hear these stories of, Rob didn't come back up. That's just it. That's just how it goes. This is South Africa, though, so I guess torrid times.
Rancher, you need a serious talk with your IP provider.
Oh my! Yeah, it's just damn where I'm going to go scream at my IP provider. So, hey, thanks for having me on.
No problem, Rancher. Thank you for joining.
Lots of love.
Right.
So since we're talking about divers, just an observation on my part. I'm finding I'm wearing my Doxa more and more and more. I'm just
great.
I don't know what it is. You know, I love my other watches. I love my Explorer and my Explorer 2, and I love my Speedy, but I don't know what it is about this watch. I'm just grabbing it out of my watch box. It seems like almost every day.
It's a great
It's
watch.
funny you say it's funny you say that, because I'm exactly the same with the Black Bay 58, the blue Black Bay 58. There's just something about it that you gravitate. I think it's because it's a more affordable watch in comparison to some of the the higher end stuff. So it's just one that you can grab, put on, you can wear it for any occasion. And I think the Doxa sort of ticks that box as well.
Yep.
Yeah, I find that myself, and I think a lot of people also go through phases, right? And there's watches that are just comfortable and just keep coming back. And I'd agree, James, that it's not necessarily the price of the watch, but also like not fearing scratching it, breaking it.
Right.
There's something freeing about a watch that you can just put on and not care about. So.
Right. And I don't think it. You know, we can all throw a G-Shock on and not care, but I don't know. It's the look, the fact that it's just a pure tool watch. It doesn't pretend to be anything else, and the way the beads of rice bracelet is just so comfortable. It's just I don't know. It's just
I feel the exact same way about my Seamaster. It's the most expensive watch I own, but I just know it. It takes all the knocks. Wear it, use it, enjoy it. It's almost like a supplement for a Black Bay 58 and pieces like that. It's the same kind of area. I'm sure Showcase would agree. It's a peculiar model in the series.
I'm wearing it as we speak. I'm wearing the Seamaster 300. It's one of those watches you can just grab. It doesn't matter if you're in shorts and a t-shirt. It doesn't matter if you're dressed up. It doesn't matter. You can just pick it up and go.
It raised a lot of eyebrows last night, actually, because most of the collectors all had modern things, and they were kind of perturbed. They didn't really understand it very much, which I found strange, quite peculiar, actually.
Yeah, Clive is actually in the bringing up a good question in the chat. What do you think about Harry Winston? He's been eyeing a very interesting. He's been eyeing a very interesting watch.
Is he looking at one of the Opus series or? Harry Winston is a very interesting watch brand because they've had the Opus series, which is really great watches that were all mostly collaborations. I know that some people have hinted at the fact that it's a little bit weird because you don't know which movement you have in there or whatever, but there's a reason for that. A lot of them are collaborations, and that was where Max Buser was, right? So, and the Opus series is interesting because it was created specifically to help independent watchmakers, right? By creating this watch series where they would hire independents to either design the watches or come up with the movements and help them out. I mean, look, I don't know what.
I'd love to get them. Love to get some on the screen. I think Jamie actually asked the question. There's some really beautiful ones.
Yeah, there are. And Max Buser likes to say that he started the Opus series to help some of his friends, including FP Jorn. So
very nice. You wanna maybe bring up his website and we'll take a look at it?
Sure thing.
While Flipping's doing that, I think just to go back to the last thing we were talking about, I don't think it really matters why we pick up these watches the way we do, but I think it's interesting for the community, especially newer people entering the hobby, to hear that, hey, I've been wearing watches for a long time, and now I realize that a seemingly not super hot watch is the one that I tend to go to.
Yeah,
I think that's an important lesson and message to get out.
Yeah, it's true.
You have to have this watch or you have to have that watch. It's like, no, even people who have those watches.
It's so peculiar. I tell you, I mean, this is the first time I've actually been able to wear a Rolex for longer than, I don't know, 5 hours. And the Explorer. How many times have I spoken about the Explorer as this beautiful watch to just jump on as an everyday wearer? And I feel, it's almost like you've built up this darling in your head, and then you try it, and it's not as exciting as you think it would be. But maybe it's just the beginning phases for me. I don't know.
Yeah,
give it finding that.
Give it a couple of
You're
days.
gonna make me put on an Explorer. Hold on a second. I just have to. I need to put karma out in the universe to.
Are you finding that though, Andy, guy?
Yeah, I am. Yeah, I'm feeling quite disillusioned. Yeah,
Really?
maybe it's just because I've been spoiled seeing other pieces, but maybe it'll sink in over time.
I think though, speaking from experience with the Seamaster 300, the reedition 1957 reissue, I find exactly the same. If you wear that watch for a week or two, and then you put something on, like if I put my Submariner on, I find the Submariner dial very dull and boring in comparison to the Seamaster.
It's so weird. It's so weird.
The Seamaster, you can get it in different lights. You can get it in even different rooms of the house. You get a completely different look. It's
just simple things like that. Just a domed crystal instead of a flat one. The light you can see the dial so clearly, and it's a peculiar thing.
I know you're going to do this, ID guy, but Mark P's saying give it a chance. Yeah,
for sure.
I'm
going to be wearing it for weeks. I'll wear it for a full 2-3 weeks, solid, non-stop. Timekeeping is fantastic, I must admit. I found a bit of surprise working the movement, actually. It's not as crisp as I thought it would be. I don't know, just after handling coaxials and others, this is a little bit fidgety. But overall, I mean, the fit and finish, the actual metalwork, cannot deny it's a cut above. It is so solid, sharp.
Is there anyone NS that we should look at in particular?
Well, I mean, the one that Clive is mentioning, you won't find it on the website.
On the website?
But it's like the older ones that had the kind of, I think, Clive, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's the ones with the lugs that are a little bit ornate. They're great watches. If you're getting a good price, which you probably are for those watches, I would get it. I'd pull the trigger. They're very overlooked watches, right? I feel like, and it doesn't matter if the value goes up or not. I feel like they're the kinds of watches that, 15, 20 years from now, people will be going like, wow, like, nobody gave those watches a chance. Why?
One of those.
This is the
watches.
time, by the way, this is the time when we should be doing this, because all the attention is going in one way.
Yep.
You can find such amazing pieces out there that no one has even, put a second thought to.
Yep. And I think while that's true, I think a lot of watches are going up a lot right now. I think Harry Winston is not there yet, right? People aren't hyping them up. They're not, snatching all of the all the used ones on the market. So there's still a lot of value there. There was definitely more value before, like let's say a couple of years ago, but there's still a ton of value in those watches.
Hey, Flippin, can you post the link again?
Sure thing.
Great. And I just wanted to say a welcome to Mr. Perpetual. And
James is joining us.
And hello, James. And a big welcome to our friend Patty from Texas.
Yeah. Hey, Audi.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. I haven't said hello to anybody yet, but hello.
Yeah, Thomas. Come on, we want to have a proper 20-minute chat. I want to hear Thomas speaking for a bit.
Well, are we still looking at the Harry Winstons? Yeah.
Yep.
Just having a glance. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to pull up that one? Clyde had listed the exactly what the model was. Maybe you can Google that.
Right.
I think that's the one, right? Time zone retrograde.
Yep. The first picture there, or the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Clyde,
yep.
Which metal color is it in?
Oh, it's gorgeous. It's so deco in the way that the lugs have been done and the offset dials. Very Art Deco.
James Arthur, hello, sir.
He's joined us.
Hello, Chris. How are you?
Hello,
Good.
Hey, James.
Hello,
Hey,
James.
Hello, Bruce. Hello, Thomas.
How are you doing?
Hello, ID guy.
Welcome,
Thank you
James.
for joining us.
Ines. Thank you. I heard somebody had a hangover.
Yeah, it was really bad. It's okay. I'm clear. Luckily, youth is on my side, and years of preparation has taught me a couple of things on how to fix it. So it's good. It's all good. I'm
Yeah,
back.
just wait. In 5 to 10
Yeah, we'll
years,
see
you're
how
gonna
long-
wake up one day and it's not gonna be great, and you're
No.
gonna say, those days are over.
Yeah.
A
You'll
little
catch up
birdie
to
told me you were mixing your drinks, ID guy, between beers and
It
Negroni.
wasn't. Yeah, it really wasn't good. The beers started in the early afternoon, and then the Negroni started at about 7. And these guys just weren't playing around. These guys were ordering 8 at a time, and it just got
Nice.
worse and worse and worse and worse. And I couldn't keep track. No one could. Yeah.
And James,
Hell.
how are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. How about yourself?
I just realised I hadn't said hello to you. I'm so sorry to cut you off, ID guy.
No.
Here as well.
Yeah,
I'm going well,
James,
thanks, James.
Clive is looking at this particular watch, this Harry Winston. Very interesting piece.
Harry Winston make a lot of wonderful pieces, and of course, as Clive, who's the bargain hunter,
Right.
you know, they're great on the pre-owned market.
Yeah, really interesting pieces. I saw this
Very-
gorgeous square case earlier. I can't find the reference to it, but it's really something. What is the name? No, geez, Emerald Automatic 33. I don't think many are interested in 33mm watches.
No, not many at all.
Ennis's advice is get the white gold, Clive.
Mm.
I would think most Harry Winston pieces, such production pieces, so I think most of his pieces would be in a precious metal of some description.
Yeah, you see a lot of yellow gold and pink gold, rose gold. So if you get a nice one, Clive, if it's really if it's nice and it's white gold, definitely go for it if it's a good deal.
Yeah, he says that's it. The one that's up there. That's it.
Holy, the movements are amazing in these. 72 hours. Some really good stuff.
Oh, amazing watches, Harry Winston. Absolutely
Wow.
beautiful.
Sorry, is it this one
You,
or the gold? Yellow gold.
I think it's this one.
Yeah. But bargains can be found out there. On
Always.
a lot of this, when that's the thing you'll find with a lot of these these pieces that are sort of no-name sort of brand pieces that are not recognizable, like APs and Rolexes and that, or that are collaborations with other brands. I mean, once they hit the secondary market, nobody knows them, nobody wants to know them, and I mean, these pieces are going at 60, 70, 80, 90% off on the pre-owned market, and the grey market ADs are still making money at that price.
Really?
Clive is saying white gold on the right. So very cool.
The
Lovely
bracelet,
one.
the bracelet, the black in the middle, I don't really like, but the watch I like.
Yeah, it looks a bit strange, doesn't it? The black in the middle.
It's like looks like a wooden bracelet in the middle.
Yeah, you don't often see those on bracelets. They were usually all leather straps.
Could be leather actually, but the head of the watch is absolutely divine. There'd be a lot of work in there.
Yeah, it's very interesting with the power reserve indicator at 12, and then you have a retrograde 24-hour hand at 9 o'clock, which is something you really don't see. Then a regular dial along with a day-night indicator at 3 o'clock, and then you have the date at 6. Very interesting. Very interesting.
I mean, I've seen a lot of Harry Winston pizzas that with Roman Shaft, who I use regularly. He has a lot of Harry Winston pieces come through his door. and they're of course very inexpensive compared to what they originally went for.
Clive said he's looking at one on a croc strap.
Oh, that would be very nice indeed, and of course the croc strap would be amazing quality.
Right.
I would think.
A very interesting watch.
The retrograde calendar, is it? It's a calendar watch. Is that?
The one he's looking at is it's a retrograde 24-hour hand.
Ah, right. Okay.
Which
So
is something
peculiar.
you don't see. Yeah, it's very peculiar.
So peculiar.
Yeah, that's classic Agent, right? Just these really cool complications.
Like a GMT movement then.
Yep.
Right.
For us watch freaks,
Good to know.
Thanks for that, Clive. Are you talking about the sausage fest that is this live show? That's good.
Well, just before we get onto the news, I've got a couple more for us to take a peek at.
Sure.
Let's see, third one down in the chat. Third one down in the chat, Zippo, which was the Varfield White USA Quartz watch, which was the new field watch from VAR.
And James Con says, speaking of retrograde, what about the Gerald Genta Arena collection? And I was just thinking about the Breguet retrograde. It's one of the pieces that I just love. I think it's absolutely stunning. There's some great pieces out there, huh?
Yeah, so this is VAR introducing a new white military field design of their best-selling USA assembled quartz line. This is the 40mm. It's the first you can get the first strap in black silicon and the second strap in a custom color. So this is a khaki nylon strap, and this is a 40mm, 9.4 thick, 100-meter watches, and it's only $199. This, I thought it was a great bargain buy. So it's Swiss made Ronda 763 quartz again, and screw down crown with an internal anti-reflective coating, and domed sapphire crystal, with 7-layer super lume hands and dial. 2 interchangeable straps, as said, and the lug height is 48mm with a lug width of 20mm on this one. But I mean, people say, people go on about the Hamilton khaki field and what a great watch it is.
Yep.
And this is a great quartz compromise, I think.
I really love the handset. It's very elegant looking.
Yeah, matching the strap as well, looks really nice.
and Americans go crazy over field watches. I mean, they just love them.
Especially that dial. That is the American dial, basically, right?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
One of the best-selling field watches in America is the Boulder Venture titanium, and they sell for like $300 or $400. I know these guys, and they came out with this, and they just went nuts. Americans just love this style of field watch.
I have to say, guilty as charged. I love field watches, and I love something like this. And eventually, I'm going to add I've had Hamiltons in the past. I'm going to eventually get a khaki field mechanical and back in my collection.
Even the Timex Expedition is
that one too, flipping. Yep, exactly.
And you can still find vintage Benrus pieces for pretty good bargains nowadays too, right? They're big in the States.
The Benrus is fantastic. Vietnam era vintage. You can pick them up at a reasonable price.
Yeah.
Yeah, and how this is exactly what I'm talking about. It's an entry level watch. This is
feels that way.
Not a grey beater or an entry level watch.
And Howdy says that field watches end at IWC and Petit Prince. Interesting.
Yeah, I mean they're great field watches, IWC, but you're paying a lot more for a Celita movement, aren't you? I mean,
Yeah.
a lot more marker on IWC.
Yeah.
I just need contact lenses to be able to see one on my wrist.
But so we've had divers watch, we've had a field watch, and just from the next one, which was from Zelos, and we all know, or a lot of us know, of the Zelos swordfish, which is their dive watch, but they're taking a plunge into the dress watch market with this watch, which is the Nova.
That's cool. I'm liking this. It's nice to hear a bit of difference.
Yeah, it's 38 millimeters with 7 millimeters thick. So
cool.
Nice
Check
and
it out.
thin.
Check that fume on the far left, the teal. That looks awesome.
Yeah, it does.
Sold out within an hour.
Yeah, so many.
And the salmon as well.
So not many of us are aware of the Zelos, the fact that they do dress watches, but they're based out of Singapore. Zelos' founder believes that a great timepieces design should not be confined to luxury brands. And they started in 2014 and have launched 3 models on Kickstarter with increased success, always greatly surpassing their targets. And this is a 38 millimeter with, as I say, 7 millimeter thickness without the crystal and 8.5 with the crystal. And it's 44 millimeter lug to lug, 20 millimeter lug.
Very, very impressive, eh?
ETA plus 7001 with a Côte de Genève engraving and blued screws. It's exhibition case back and a whole leather strap. Bracelet with screw links and a butterfly deployment. So if you click on the picture just below where it says "Up to Car," you can see that's it. Yeah, you've got it up now. You can see it also comes on a bracelet, which is also almost like a beads of rice bracelet. Which looks lovely.
James, you said this sold out within an hour?
Yeah, the teal and the salmon dial were both gone within an hour. Once they basically send, what they do is they send it because they have such a fan club now.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't consider Zelos a micro brand anymore. I'd say they've moved into a macro brand status because they have a huge fan base. They do
Instagram.
They send an email out to all their existing users. Everybody registered on their database, and what happens is they have a countdown when the watches are going to appear before they appear for the public. And basically, once that countdown clock ticks over, they go on the website, and everybody races to buy their favorite color. These things sell out within the first day.
Wow,
pretty amazing. So really, and the thing, I mean, it's simple. You look at the dial of this watch and you think, what are the big brands? What are the big brands doing to compete with something like this? You can't get an effect like this unless you go somewhere like Moser. That's one that comes off the tongue first, I would say.
Yeah, I mean the espresso was a lovely color as well. I thought, and the brown. You got a lovely little sub dial.
That's still available though, so obviously they haven't got the following in this style.
The genre.
Yeah.
But they will. I mean,
people know them for the
anything in teal, and this always sells out in this brand. But the salmon was amazing in this brand.
Mm-hmm.
So it's sort of like the Ming effect, isn't it? I mean,
exactly. Yeah. On the nose. That's it. That is pretty incredible. Jeez, look at that.
That's amazing.
Get the mouse on the actual watch itself. It looks like it can actually zoom in a bit. That texture, holy, that is
beautiful. I'm not the biggest salmon guy in the world, but that's nice.
I'm not a salmon guy either, but salmon grows on me on certain watches and it's got texture.
Mm-hmm. It's all about that omega-3.
And that does look pretty good. I mean, I'd wear that.
Yeah,
I would wear that too.
The advantage that they have is that their production runs are probably not huge for each of those colors. So they get to, experiment, and if it works, it works. If it works, they sell out, creates more buzz, more hype. I think that's a great place to be for a manufacturer compared to a much bigger company that, if they come out with a color, they sort of have to commit to it for a sizable run. So it's great to see a company that can experiment with colors and textures and
take risks.
Yeah, take risks, but also develop a following as they do it. So I know a lot of people look down on Zelos, but hey, they're doing something. So.
Those specs are impressive. I mean, I see boxed sapphire crystal, BGW9 loom, ETA with Côte de Genève engraving. Those small little things, blued screws, small lug to lug of 44 mils. I can't believe that. With a diameter of 38, that's quite something. That's what you would expect from a 36 mil watch. They've done some good research there. Yeah,
good
it's very
size,
interesting.
Yeah.
I think this is probably right out of their comfort zone. This particular dress watch,
Mm-hmm.
but I think they'll learn from this. But yeah, every other watch they do, they've pretty much,
look at that. That's nice.
You either like meteorite or you don't like meteorite.
Right.
That's what I like too.
Yeah, I like it.
True.
Yeah.
It's almost like a fingerprint.
Yeah, I like
that's why I makes it quite unique. Is that it's unique to the
It's like
piece
DNA,
itself.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, they did.
That's beautiful. That one.
They did it the right way and have dark indices and hands. The problem with
Very
a lot
good
of
point.
meteorite dials is
I'll be right back.
everything's too light, which is why I think Parmigiani does meteorite so well, because they paint it with a translucent paint, so they can change the color of it a little bit. But yeah, this is a great execution of meteorite dial.
Really, that's
I
very
think
interesting. They paint it just to change the color a little.
Yeah, if you look at the Tonda 1950s, I think they have 2 or 3 colors, including one where they put just a bit of translucent white paint over the slice of meteorite metal. So imagine this, but like it's white, and the meteorite texture is very, very subtle underneath. So it's like you have a really nice dress watch, but if you look at it closely, you have the meteorite effect. It's very, very well done. Just a lot more than $1,049 though.
Right.
Yeah.
I think Rolex got the meteorite really wrong with their meteorite.
Yeah, I'd agree with you, but they got it in a very limited white gold watch, right? And it just sells because it's hyped. So
I think it's quite. I think it's quite an ugly watch. That's my personal view.
yeah, it's not the most readable
No, it's not.
watches. I'm not sure that it looks good on white gold too, the way they did it.
No.
And I find that they have a
not a good
very like
contrast.
faded dial as well.
Yeah.
So-
So we're ready for the news. If you've got any minutes, or
Yeah, I posted a few links, Flippin. There wasn't that much news this week, but still a few. So the first one was the new Urwerk, the Falcon project. I thought that was very interesting. Yeah,
Awesome watch.
manual wind, carbon. If you go down the pictures, I find that this new one, the proportions are great. The case looks great. It's manual wind, and it's Urwerk. It's got all these little quirky things going, including the oil meter. So if you go down, it actually counts when you should go up, Flippin', you add it. Here it'll actually count the months, so you know when you should service the watch.
Wow.
That is
Amazing.
so cool.
Yeah.
It's very, very cool, isn't it?
Oh,
Yeah, it's such a cool watch. All these little details.
it's what Richard Mille wishes it was. I think in the way it's done, it's so legible in its approach.
Yep.
You know, it's so hardcore, but still readable and usable. Very interesting complication.
Yeah, and you know, a lot of their watches have basically the same complication.
Yeah.
But after all these years, it still looks good. It doesn't look dated, or hey, they should do something else.
Doesn't SR71 Blackberg look dated today? Not really.
Yeah.
Same kind of approach.
Yeah,
It's
exactly. It's just a really, really cool watch. I have a soft spot for Urwerk, but I find that this release is just they really did it well. The case, everything, the crown at the top, it's really well executed. So.
Fitting cases. I mean,
I'll have these a rich Schmidt every day of the week. Thank you.
True. So say that again, Neo.
What were you saying, Neo?
Yeah. I was just saying that this is one of the better fitting cases. The other ones, you kind of wear and it's a little bit goofy size, and you're like, yeah, of course it is because it's an Urwerk. But this one is, I think, a lot more approachable to people. And I like the fact it's still, taking inspiration from Millennium Falcon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Millennium Falcon. Is that an actual inspiration that they mention, or is that just
no, it is
aesthetic?
Yeah,
cool. That's so cool.
Yeah, I mean,
wow,
that's really good.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that's what's really cool about that watch is every single side of it looks cool.
Mm-hmm.
It's
I want one. I really want one.
I do.
That is a cut above. Oh.
Yeah, you just have to find a bunch of money. I mean, that's
mortgage a house.
Major problem is.
Yeah, it's the hardest part.
How much is it?
A lot.
What's the price? What are they asking?
It should
Further
be at
down.
the bottom.
Go a little bit more down. There we go. 140.
Yep.
145,000 Swiss francs.
Wow,
that's a kick. You'll get a discount though.
Yeah,
you will.
$5,000, just $5,000 off. It's okay. It's decent, right?
That one that's overdue on
you'll get it. You'll get more than that.
Yeah, let's put it this way: the discount will probably be more than a full gold Rolex President.
Yeah.
But you'll still be paying a ton of money. But yeah, it's
my AD's already has got one in stock already, so I've already seen one. So
try it on.
Yeah, tried it on already. Yeah.
Nice.
That's so cool. Really, really nice.
Falcon.
But I don't end up buying from my AD. I wait for them to hit the
for the deals to hit
when they can't sell them.
Good. That's the way to do it.
Yeah, I mean, look,
that's right. So.
These watches, as awesome as they are and everything, they're a ton of money, right? So it does restrict who's going to buy them.
Right.
I think though you could get some of them around 45.
Some of the older ones.
Yeah.
But it's that's the thing. The prices fluctuate too. A couple of years ago, you could get MBNFs for a reasonable price. How long that's going to last, it's hard to say. But this one is just. I don't know. I'd almost say that it's their best one yet.
Really?
I'd agree.
Yeah.
I'd
exciting. Very, very exciting.
It's so different.
Save your money and pray for a global economic meltdown, and then you'll be able to get one of these for cheap.
Exactly. That's what we're all hoping for.
The way
I think we've reached the global economic crisis. So, I mean, it's just but watches aren't doing what we thought they'd do yet.
Yeah, right. I think for this one to be really affordable, we have to hit a level that we probably don't want to hit.
Yeah,
so
right. Yeah. And worrying about luxury watches will be the least of our worries.
Yeah. Let's not get to the point where people are eating people. So.
Right. Is this a limited edition per se, NS?
That's such a good photograph. Oh my gosh.
I don't think it is, but
they're not going to make a lot of these.
Yeah,
regardless.
those are usually limited to how many they can sell.
they'll limit the amount of pieces they make. Probably make 150 pieces or something.
Yep.
Very interesting watch.
And there'll be leftover pieces that they can't sell.
Yeah. So the next watch that I queued up is not as interesting as this one. But I actually had a conversation with Geezer about this watch. It's the weirdest release this week, I think. It's like, hey, we haven't released a watch in a while. Let's release a watch in white gold.
Right.
Yeah.
And trimmed down in size.
It's really like a under the radar, weird, no fanfare release.
Interesting.
But, yeah, it got released this week, so we might as well talk about it.
What's the diameter? 40 mil, I hope. 40. It's usually 44, right?
No,
38.5.
37.5.
Oh, 37.5.
No.
Yep.
That's amazing. I did not expect that. How cool is that?
Yep. And only 10.78 thick. So it's pretty small. Well, pretty small. Probably much more wearable with those crowns. Yeah. And 48,500 US. So not cheap. But yeah, interesting release.
It's a peculiar monster. When we talk about Patek, we don't think about pilot world time. Sorry, what's it? Dual times. Pilot dual time Calatravas much.
Yep.
Now, the first iteration of this was 42 mils.
Yes,
and in steel.
Yeah, they did have that limited steel one that they got everybody to buy.
Ladies watch. Yeah.
What is cool? The cool feature that I like about this watch is you can hide the 24-hour hand if you don't need it. That I think is brilliant.
Yep.
Yeah, not bad.
Just go
I see.
Just go under the hour hand like a skeleton, sort of.
Correct.
Yeah.
That's a pretty cool feature.
Yeah, the Jaeger-LeCoultre, I forget that, like Master Home Time or whatever it's called, does the same, and also the chronograph that Montblanc makes also has that feature where the GMT hand is just a skeletonized version of the normal hand.
I was laughing under my breath to that one.
I don't know how Clive does it. Hey, every single damn time.
Well fisted, rancher. Well fisted.
That's pretty good.
That was very good.
James Conn's mentioning Alangonzon. I've got an interesting story to mention. The new Rattrapant that's just come out. That
yes,
honey gold.
Honey gold.
Oh, that's beautiful.
They are not making a honey gold deployant for that watch.
Really?
What?
Which you think a watch that's top of the line, you'd expect to get that with the piece, but no.
Correct.
You can only get a Tang buckle. Yeah, and it's like that's the nail in the coffin for Russell. He's not picking it up now because they are not going to make a deployant for the watch. He only wears. I mean, when you're wearing a leather strap watch or a watch that price, surely you want some kind of assurance that you're going to be, a bit more comfortable with putting it on and all the rest. So
completely agree. If you're going to spend that kind of money, you want a deployment.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So
it's weird.
He's debating with them now. He's actually quite angry about it all. He's chatting to them and trying to make them change their minds. And I don't know. We'll see what happens. It's very peculiar though.
Did they not order enough material?
No, it's just traditionally for honey gold pieces they don't make deployants. Some strange reason. All of those releases they've done in the past. I mean, you think of Lunga ones and honey gold, never normally have deployants with them, and it's bizarre, very strange.
But surely they must realize the clients want a deployment when they're spending that sort of money.
For sure. So it's very peculiar. I'll let you know. I'll keep you posted on the on the news. What happened?
Even Aragon offer a deployment class.
Exactly.
Yeah, I wonder if there's some weird technical reason, like if it's just soft or something.
They're just stingy. They're just stingy as
the metal can't make a proper deployment.
Yeah, I don't know. Although it shouldn't be like any softer than
Rose.
the other gold.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, one would think that it wouldn't be any softer. I mean, yeah, it's going to be more expensive for them to make it, but
Well, the other thing too is maybe because they're so expensive, those special editions, maybe they assume people never wear them. So
yeah,
I'm just
maybe.
looking. Geezer just mentioned. I'm also disappointed. Lungo are only doing pin buckles for the white gold Odysseus. I mean, what?
Yeah, the one on the rubber.
Maybe it's
leather.
more expensive because they're making such low numbers of them, and they think, oh well, everything. It comes back to the smaller quantities you make, obviously, but still.
So strange. You're just thinking
When
in there.
your customer base, you should
Yeah.
take that in consideration for long-term effect.
As a client, you should just be able to say, no, I want that on the deployment. I don't want tang buckles on all the pieces that I pick up from you, but apparently not. I don't know.
Yeah,
The people
Materials.
buying your limited edition models are going to be your long-term customers in
Exactly.
general, mostly.
Exactly.
So therefore, they get a long-term effect of not pleasing your customers is they're not going to be buying your other models, and they're going to be spreading the word about your brand. So
yeah.
It's what I call, as always, return on relationship, and that's not a good return on relationship for the brand.
Yeah. I mean, Russell is one of their top clients. He got flown out to see all the pieces day one.
Wow.
And it's just he has all the top pieces in the line as well. I mean, he's the devoted, and he buys them at retail, doesn't buy them secondhand, nothing like that. So yeah, it must sting quite a bit. All of a sudden being said no.
The thing is too, they're not cheap, right?
No.
They're even for watches of that level, it's not like they're a cheap brand. So that's a bit weird. I'd get it if they were like a quasi, not budget, but lower end brand, right? Where they just don't have the money to do that. But I've received the catalog with the price list. At the prices they ask, you should be able to get whatever you want with those.
Exactly.
It does sound a bit. It does sound like the attitude of a German company, though. And with in all honesty, they are very. They're not very flexible in their approach.
Yeah, direct.
James Con 11 is saying technically they want to piss people off.
Yep.
Because if I was to say it to Gerard Perregaux, who I'm probably one of their biggest clients, they would do anything for me.
Exactly. As is the case, as it should be the case.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen on Bill Sanders' Facebook group, I've seen some really, really high-end super collectors collections. And I mean, some of these guys, a lot of brands will even put their names on the rotor.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Like the Bethune will do it. So many brands will put your name on the rotor.
Gerard Perregaux will do it.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
If you want to give a gift to Gerard Perregaux and you want to have some engraving on the rotor or whatever, it's not a problem. It's not even a big deal. I mean, it's just
not hard to do.
We'll make it happen.
Yeah,
it's
look,
like
somebody's
servicing the watch for you. They can just open up the back and engrave it. I mean, it's technically a 10-minute job.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, somebody's giving you a ton of money, and I liked in the these companies have to remember. I think the best quote that came out in the last couple of weeks in the watch world is from Edouard Milan in his interview with the Watchbox. And he said, I forget the exact quote. He either said things or stuff, but he said, look, part of our problem is we make things that nobody needs.
Right.
Right. So you have to treat your clients a certain way.
Oh, just on the topic of you mentioned Bill Sanders, I just wanted to give his watch project a shout out, NS. If you want to tell us a bit more about that.
Yeah. So it all started at the beginning of the pandemic, and Bill Sanders just said, "Hey, what if we could build our own watch with a great movement, a great case?" So he actually got in touch with some movement makers, and there's nothing finalized yet, but right now he's looking at maybe a movement from Ajar and a case from Voetenlenen and Caton. So There's nothing done yet, but there's a bunch of people that are interested, myself included, and we'll see. We'll see where it goes. It might be really cool.
We need to drum up a bit more interest. If anybody's interested, they need to get in touch with Bill Sanders, don't they? And or with his Facebook group.
Watch his live stream. Join his Facebook group. It's jumping hour and retrograde minutes, correct?
Yeah, that's what it looks like. It might be.
What size watches at NS?
I think it's going to be around 40.
40, yeah, I believe.
Yeah,
what he's thinking.
And if it is, if we do go the all agent option, it would be a fully agent made movement. So like not just
Nice
a module.
movement.
There's an option for a module over an ETA, but depending on how much money people want to spend, it might be a full the full deal. So
Nice.
might be cool. Yeah. So if you guys are interested, join Bill's streams on Saturday mornings at 8:00 or Eastern, or in the afternoon at 4 p.m. Eastern.
Right.
And he usually talks about it, and you can get in touch with him and get added to the group for that watch. So it's interesting, and it's a lot of fun. Everybody's always joking around. So we'll see. So the last two watches that I had posted for the news, we can look at them one by one, flipping, but they're JLCs.
Oh,
and so those two watches are rumored to come out at the Watches and Wonder Shanghai. And I say rumored to come out, then it's weird because they're live on the Chinese website. So you can actually look at them on the Chinese website, but they're not live on the other websites yet. And it's basically more of their Polaris watches, but this time actual divers. So it's kind of a return to the master compressor type of line.
No, don't do this to me. No.
Yep.
This is going to be expensive. I don't want to look. This might be too exciting for me for one day.
Well, I mean, it's pretty cool because it's also, it looks like a return to something that looks a lot like the compressor crowns. Awesome. So very interesting. I don't know, Flippin, if you can pull them up. Okay, so
that is cool. Oh,
yes,
geez.
It's a 300 meter more diver. This one is the 3-hander with date. We'll see in a moment the Memovox version. And can you go to the last picture, Flippin?
Go to which, sorry?
The last picture on the, the one above that. Yep.
You don't tell me that you can't read Chinese, Flippin?
The one that was supposed to be the thumbnail for this show.
Yeah. So if
can get the Google translator out.
So if you look at that crown, right?
That is so cool.
It looks like what they did is they redid their compressor crowns, but that sort of go in like screw-in crowns. But when you screw them out like 1/4 or half turn, it looks like they pop up and you see the red, right? Like the old compressor crowns. So yeah.
I must be colorblind. Looks orange to me.
Yeah, it is.
It's orange. The older ones were red and white, but now it looks like orange. And when you screw them in, instead of seeing the white, right, it just goes back in. So,
Take care, Mark P.
Mark is leaving us. Yeah, Mark's leaving us.
Yep, take care.
Still at a mark.
Oh, geez, that is something else. I really like it, as everyone can probably guess. Numerals and batons on dials, JLC, dive watch, compressors. Oh, I just can't. Oh, it's too much for me. Love it.
It's a good looking watch. It really is a good looking watch.
Mark P, thank you for coming along, man.
Yep.
Thank you.
Take care, Mark.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, it really looks like they're taking the Polaris line and venturing into master compressor territory, which is
very
really
exciting.
Yep. And the other one I posted is it's basically the exact same thing, but the Memovox version, and, you know, Memovox diver, right? There's nothing.
So that
cooler
has
than
an alarm.
Yep. So it's basically the same: the internal bezel, the internal dive bezel, the compressor crowns, but you have the alarm.
The ability to wind it, yeah.
Yep. Yeah, so there was a very under the radar release. I mean, I guess it's a release because it's live on the Chinese website. So
Right.
it's
How did you even
released.
know about this, MS?
Actually, somebody posted. I forget where I saw it. Not sure if it was Reddit or forum, but somebody posted. Somebody just found it on the Chinese site.
Oh, it looks so cool. I'm really liking that a lot.
Can't go wrong with the blue dial in my book.
Yeah, it's
what sells.
Very true, actually.
It's what sells.
I mean, this one's expensive, but oof, it's got the Memovox.
Yeah.
It's got it all. And I'm pretty sure if you look at the movement, I'm pretty sure that's the newer Memovox movement.
Okay.
So
Wish I could zoom in on that.
it's really cool.
That looks like
And there's a loom shot. There's a loom shot further down, I think.
Mhm.
And the hand is actually orange. That is so
Oh,
nice.
that is so cool.
Very neat.
Yeah. NS has sold me on JLC.
Yeah.
In a big way. It's
I mean, that's all he collects, right? JLC and Moser. So,
the right way to go.
yeah.
Wait. He has a tutor.
Yeah, it's true. I have
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
The best of the diving line. It's good.
Don't you have a G-Shock as well?
No, but I've got I've got Casios, I've got a couple of swatches.
And an Apple.
Yeah, yep, an Apple Watch.
You got an Apple Watch?
Yep.
You want a leather strap for it?
Yeah, of course you do. On a flipping
You know what?
exclusive.
I wear the
Zippo
Apple
mail.
Watch. Yeah, I wear the Apple Watch just for exercise. I'm trying to wear it less, so I really don't want a leather strap for it.
That would get gross fast.
Yep. No, I mean, and they have a shot too where you see the compressor style crown too. It looks like all the crowns are compressor style crowns, so it's really, really cool.
Yeah.
That is so nice
How
to
many
see.
How many millimeters is this NS?
42. I see it at the top. 42
Yeah,
mil.
yeah. I think it's
Top left.
42. Mhm.
Yeah, but you've got younger eyes than me, ID guy.
Yeah, it's wait a second. The Memovox it's 42 and the Memovox is 15.6 thick, I think. But it's the Memovox. It's always thicker. The three-hander and date is 13.9 thick. So manageable sizes.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is
Oh,
a
it's great.
good-looking watch.
Yeah. It's really quite a showstopper, I must say. It's stunning.
It is.
We've
And
Get
this
it night.
we've
good.
lost
This
man.
is really. I could wear this.
unfortunately, yeah, but I think we've got the Rancho backstage, have we?
Oh, do we?
Who did we lose, Thomas?
We
We
lost
lost
Lexter Dexter,
Dexter,
unfortunately.
Oh, no.
Yeah. I wanted to ask him about his collection. I wanted to ask him what he
Yeah.
had in his collection.
Connection as well. I don't know. We might have room for one more, Lexter. Try it if you can. I'll
Yep.
do this.
Okay, I just tested my internet connection and it said it's blazing fast.
It sounds good. Sounds
Now
good.
you sound good.
Yeah, a lot better.
Yep.
Hello,
Junior,
Clive.
I used to, and then I kind of stopped because I like bracelets, as it turns out. So
Yeah. It's a really nice looking piece, must say. Quite
Yeah, and-
something.
And I like
Very
that
impressive.
that orange loomed
Yeah.
secondhand.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the icing on the cake, isn't it?
Yep.
What do you reckon, Clive?
Well, did anyone say Moss so quietly cooled on JLC when he was like one of their biggest fanboys?
I think he just got over it. There's a fantastic. I wish I could find the link. Is there a way for me to actually post a link into the private chat for us?
Yeah,
there is. I found a fantastic. It's a chat between Tim and Ariel Adams from A Blog to Watch, and it was so good. It's half an hour just basically talking about finding value in your collecting, and he touches on it briefly, saying that when he started getting into JLC, he realized that he needed to get the certain pieces, the important ones, the
icons.
Yeah, and it just felt like eventually he just got bored with them, to a point where he just thought, nah, get someone else.
I think what he was saying also is he got into a trap where he
had to go that one way.
His collection was just way too strict, where he sort of got into a sort of a funk, really, where all he wanted were the sort of the important editions of the important significant models, right? And so you get to a point where you're not chasing the Reverso you like, you're chasing the Platinum Tourbillon Reverso, right? Special edition. And you're not chasing, like in the end, he always used to say like his next big watch was going to be like this crazy minute repeater. And it just gets to a crazy point where you can't just buy a JLC you like. He was, nothing under like a $750,000 JLC was going to cut it, right? So I think his whole collecting
philosophy
really changed. So
I've just posted the chat into the link into the chat here. Can't share it with the audience, sadly, but maybe Flippin can take the link and stick it in the comments.
There was a great video. The other video that was good was the one where he sort of came clean on one of the watch box videos, right, where he announced that he was selling all of his watches. And he touched on, like, hey, maybe I need to be a better person, right? Not just have the pursuit be everything. So
I've watched that talk between them, I think, about 3 times, because they say some really poignant things coming close to the end of the video too. And it's very important, especially now, seeing where the social space is and everything else. It's really important to just check yourself and go back a few paces to try and find appreciation for the watches that you have and just why you have them in the first place and stuff like that.
That's very important. I think people get too locked into one way of looking at things, and they start basically disregarding lots and lots of cool watches just because they're chasing after a few watches that they think they need to be chasing after. Because he said that even on his Facebook group recently, Tim Mosso actually started an exchange with the members of his group, saying, post pictures of what would be your perfect collection. And one of them is he really likes the DB28 Digital. Right.
We're having an ad break. It's so good.
I'm talking over the infomercial.
You're making all these, are you?
Yeah.
I did. I made them 2 years ago, and again, I like bracelets. So
really
nice.
If you want a leather NATO or whatever, let me know.
Nice.
Going into the NATO business. Brilliant.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Post that link to the Ariel Adams video.
Yeah, he has put it in the comments. He has. Yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
I really recommend it, guys. You've got to check it out. It's so nice just listening to these two guys chatting about it.
Yeah, and a great point that they try to make in that exchange is, don't overlook watches that are below a certain price point.
Yes.
Right. It's not because a watch doesn't cost $15,000, but it's crap.
Yeah. And it's the best. I think he just mentioned something about you buy the Lunga because that's what everyone wants to go for, and it's finding finding the best champagne you can possibly, without enjoying the taste, you just chug it. Same with wine and everything else. If you don't know what you're drinking. I mean, what's that scene when? I can't remember the film. I think it was Steve Martin when the wine was corked. It was really, really bad, but he just, because it's expensive, thought, yeah, that's the way to go.
Orange Man does a great comment there. New Mosso is like the bartender who stopped drinking himself.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. And
in Australia, we say shit tastes like chocolate if you don't know what chocolate tastes like.
Yeah. Yeah. True.
NS, if you ever come across Alberta Distillery's cask strength, buy it now. It was voted the #1 whiskey in the world.
Interesting.
So
Really?
The next topic that I thought we'd go on to was suggested by Neo. And,
Nice. I see Oyster Perpetual there in the chat.
It's a great topic. This is the first link is after Clive's chat in the private chat. I see the
Oyster Perpetual 36.
Perpetual, yeah.
I was chatting about this with a few guys last night, and they were all saying that 41's a nice size, but they feel the 36 has a little bit more subtlety, even though it's very overstated with the colors it's using. So it's a good talking point.
The topic was mainly the color schemes that watches have gone into recently, and over the past couple of months, we've had a lot of colored releases.
Right.
And we're all well aware of the Rolex ones, so I put those in first. And
let's have a look.
Put those in for us to look at first. The new Stellar.
What am I looking for here?
It's Oyster Perpetual 36.
Just below Clive's post Oasis. Let's try this again.
Yeah, I can post it again if you want at the bottom. Here, it'll be the last one.
Nice.
Yeah, it's almost as if companies are trying to, appeal to
the same group of buyers.
Yeah.
Trying to get their market share.
Californians.
Californians.
The accent.
Well, you need to take the 230 down to I-4 and then go down to Los Sacramento. Sorry.
You want me to?
What are you doing here, Stuart?
I think everybody knows why that's so fucking funny.
I think they're also trying to appeal, to younger folks, newer buyers.
Yeah. Right. How are you liking the green dial, Clive?
I am really enjoying it.
And the twin batons, do they affect you in any way, or do you think it's a nice feature? Does it add something more to it?
Well, this actually, oh my God, if there's anyone I want to talk to, it's about this. At first, I looked at the twin batons, and I didn't like them. But then when you look at the watch in person when it's on your wrist, I think without the twin batons, the dial would be too sparse. It was just singles instead.
There's one reference that I like to always go back to. It's a 34 mil, and it's the 114-200. That whole range. And what they did was, for the batons at the quarters, they extended the lengths of them ever so much, and it just looks so elegant. I think the double baton's a little bit crowded in a way. I wish I could share a photo for everyone to have a look at, but it's nice to see what they've done. Obviously, is to make this the approach for the line. It's almost like a staple that they've tried to introduce to the OP family.
So
whether it sticks or not, these are 36s.
36. Okay.
So we're all well aware of the Rolexes that have come out in the new coloured dials, and if you wanted to skip to the next link, and
it's a very Doxa-looking coral and a very Doxa-looking yellow. If you ask me.
If you skip to the next link, Zippo, which was the Doxa one, the Doxa sub.
And Orange Hand mentioning that Nomos just did a release of bright-colored watches too. So do you think this is now going to be the trend that all the other brands are going to start putting in?
I've got the Nomoses as well. I was going to quite a few different brands.
US ID guy and Thomas delivers.
Nice.
Maybe I'll just repost it at the bottom for you, Flippin.
Okay, I'll repost.
Yeah, I know flipping you disconnected for a while. Sometimes when you disconnect, you don't
Yes,
see
I
the
mean,
messages.
the Doxa just announced a new version of
Oh,
the
yes.
300 meant to be faithful recreation of the classic and colourful dive watch from the late 60s. The Sub 300 comes in all 6 of Doxa's core colours and can be had on the beads or ice bracelet or colour match rubber strap. And the watch looks to be a non-limited edition
Right.
of the 2017 50th anniversary sub, which
Hmm.
riled some people who invested in the 50th anniversary sub. But it's great that they're making it available again. But just going along this color theme, that a lot of different brands recently have released different colors. So gone from Rolex in very bright, bold primary colors to Doxa, which have originally, I mean, since the 60s, done the orange style, and but now branched out
Right.
to more colors. I mean, you've got one of these, haven't you, blue shirt?
Yeah, this release is actually fairly interesting because this is not the watch that I have. I have the 300T. This is the 300, which is a reissue, like Thomas said, of the limited edition models.
Is the T turbocharged, or what's the
what
do they do?
The difference being is that the one I have, the T, is rated down to 1,200 meters. This is only 300 meters.
No, it's rated for low testosterone. That's what the T means.
This has a COSC rated 2824. This also has a dome sapphire like the original, whereas mine has a flat sapphire. The case is pretty much the same, except this is, I think, 0.5 millimeter thinner. But it's also like $600 more expensive. So I'm not.
I do like the yellow.
And they also changed
I've got the yellow.
It's really cool.
They changed the class. There's no no more.
It was nostalgic.
No more diver's extension on the clasp. So it's curious why they did this. I mean, this is more of a desk dress diver than the 300T, which is really just a pure tool watch. You know, I have a standard 2824 running in mine, and it's running at 7 seconds fast. So you know, getting a COSC grade of the movement, which is going to be, you know, +6 -4, another $600. I don't get it. I mean, I see why they're doing it, but who knows? We'll have to see.
Here's the question I have about Rolex: how often will they change the colors?
Yeah, and will they ever change the dials? The actual you know, batons, or will they change to numerals eventually? What's the plan? No one knows.
And if they're coming out with special colors on on regular basis, so the next question, obviously, right? Is it a fashion watch?
Yeah, yes, it is. I mean, think of what the brand is now today. It's all about presence. Presence more than anything else. Not just wrist presence, but for people to see it from across the room.
Right.
I feel like with a lot of brands that are upscaling the sizes of their watches, it's just marketing without the need of saying that you're wearing a certain brand. Joe Soap can see it's a Doxa from across the room because of the color it's using or whatever else. And I don't know, it attracts people that way. People, the candy shop effect. I think I was watching Prey ask, is there a science to these colors? And I just said candy shop. You know, you're attracted to that. And in general, you're attracted to that sort of bright detail.
Well, one thing know you're a Rolex owner anyway when they spot the jeweler's jizz on your chin.
You know?
Well, I mean, look,
comments are though. I think there is logic to the color. I think you know, they did a lot of research. If you look at them, they are all very similar as we go on to some of the other models that are coming up.
Yeah, I mean, if you go to the next link,
I mean, just think about watches as accessories. They're things that we use as an extension, but they can also be just a statement in itself. And in a way, even in casual clothes, you rock a yellow or a blue dial or orange dial,
Right.
it just adds that extra element, X factor to what you're wearing. So in a way, of course, watches have always been underlying very much a fashion statement piece. I think it's a little bit more on the nose now. Yeah, it's even more on the nose now, looking at these colors.
Yeah, look, I understand that someone could argue that a Submariner is not a fashion watch, right? Because there's like 2-3 people out there in the world actually diving with them. But let's be realistic. The OP, the Datejust are absolutely fashion watches, right? There's no way around it. They're
fluted bezels, everything. It just adds more glitz to the piece you're wearing. It's a piece of jewelry.
Yeah, it absolutely is. Right, so
we're all guest divers. I mean, how many of us are really diving with a Submariner?
It's look. I think some of the last Rolexes that were really tool watches are watches like the Comex divers, right?
The 5-digit references.
But those are probably some of the last watches that were really used as tool watches. So
it's weird. Hey, once the watches,
blue shirt.
Yes, sir.
Do you think that we could add rubber straps to our Doxas, couldn't we?
Yeah, I think that you have the option. The thing about these for the 300s, it's a rubber strap, but it's textured like the beads of rice is. It's not just a plain rubber strap. For our watch, it's just a plain rubber strap. But these rubber straps have like the texture on them. It has a beads of rice pattern in the rubber. It's interesting, and that's exclusive to the.
It'd still be the same. You could order it as a part, couldn't you?
That I'm not sure. I mean, I'm assuming that the lug width is going to be the same. And
I would think so.
But you love your yellow, right, James?
Yeah, it was nostalgic for me because I grew up with my father, and when back then it was all yellow scuba tanks. That's all you got.
So cool.
Yeah. So
I've got to say, rubber straps are quite special. It's the first time I've ever owned a Tropic strap, and they really do make an impact. I love them. So versatile.
So my next favorite is what Bruce has, the Carabine.
Yep. You see what Rolex have to offer, and this is what Doxa have to offer. And if you click on the last link, Zippo, you see what Kalev Bukhara have to offer, which is again bold.
Are we noticing a pattern here, gentlemen?
There's a trend, yeah.
There's a trend starting.
Oh my soul!
Oh my goodness!
I mean, it's almost just you take them to Photoshop, just get that color swatch and stick it on your watch, and done deal.
They're all getting their paint from the same company.
That is
This is the Petravi Travel Tech Color Edition 4 Seasons, and then 4 new dial colors for this watch, representing green for spring, yellow for orange autumn, blue for winter, and they come on rubber straps to match the dial and the season. The brand CEO, Sasha Murray, said, after the past couple of challenging months, we felt it was time to bring some bright colours into the rhythm.
Oh, yeah.
Around the world.
It's all your own decision.
Does the term jumping on the bandwagon...
What a lucky surprise. I mean, they timed it just right, you know?
But I don't think they are jumping on a bandwagon, right? I mean, these guys probably started...
I think Rolex is the one jumping on the bandwagon.
Yeah, they are.
They are, for sure.
Absolutely. This is the point.
AP,
I mean,
perfect. Giza has this perfect point. AP divers, think of those. The yellows, blues, they did that years ago. Blues, oranges.
And they're making a comeback now, ID guy. They're worth a fortune now.
Yeah, I can imagine.
They're so cheap.
Yeah.
This model's been around for 15 years now, and it's a triple time zone complication and has a world time chart engraved on the case back for easy reference when traveling the globe, and then features a chronograph function as well. And
how much are these watches?
These ones are $10,000, $11,000, just under $11,000.
Oh, I'm not paying that for one of these.
Can I be frank and honest?
No, James, you are not. You are not one for that.
I want to be frank and honest with these. I think they look kind of like fossil watches in a way.
Well,
Yeah,
but
no.
I love you.
they're Booker's in-house brand, right? So first off, you're probably getting 35% off for those.
I'm still not paying that.
Chip Gage makes a good point, saying Moser needs to mock this bandwagon. That's fantastic. Can you imagine? That's so good.
That's very good.
If anybody's going to do it, it would be Moser.
Come
Be
on.
the ones
Yeah,
to
color
mock.
block.
They could do 4 seasons of fume dials. I mean, it's
Yep.
More
Yeah,
than
this
a
is,
color block of each of one of these colors and run with it for a week.
And rubber straps.
I
Well,
love the green.
well, but you're talking about like lack of originality, and like for instance, Breitling had to go back to like real enthusiasts or real diehard collectors, and they and it's self-serving, but I've got the 806 reedition, 1959.
It's a great watch. I mean, it looks just cut above.
Yeah,
But they had to go outside of their design department apparently to design department to get it right. And then you're seeing Omega making such a big deal of Daniel Craig's contributions from the new Bond Seamaster.
Yeah, that is just pure marketing BS. He didn't. I mean, you can imagine he probably just said, "Yeah, this color's good. This material's fine. Yes, do it."
Or I don't know. It seems like the general lack of originality coming out of a lot of these Swiss brands. That may actually be the truth.
I think we should just go back to rainbow watches, like the Mido and all the rainbow watches back. We have multiple colors on all watches, and then you don't have to choose what color you buy.
Well, we've got a true in the next one. We've got a true rainbow color. Colors of the rainbow on this one. It's the Nomos and Cool Hunting Club.
Wait, before you go to the Nomos, go to the Breitlings, because I think those match up with these Carl Boucher ones better.
I just realized something. Didn't Apple have an event this week, and they launched a new Apple Watch Series 15 or something?
Series 6.
Yeah, they did.
Series 6. Okay, I'm behind on the times.
That's not a watch. It's called Wearable Technology ID, guy.
Yeah. I'm just stating what the name is. I don't believe it to be a watch at all.
We could go in that rabbit hole. What exactly is a watch?
Yeah.
We can pick that one all night, gentlemen.
Wearable Technology, Clive. It's not a watch.
It's an extension of your phone.
That's it.
That's right.
Yeah.
It buzzes and vibrates and counts steps.
In all the right places.
Yeah, the new one is like as a blood oxygen sensor.
Saturation. Yeah, nice.
Yeah, it calculates your VO2 max and all that stuff. So
if you go to the last link, Zippo, there's a Breitling that Neo just mentioned.
Endurance Pro.
Oh, was there a link? I just kind of Googled it.
Man, we look like the Brady Bunch up there.
Oh,
those Breitlings. I hate to say it, but
wow.
Hey, that's
yeah. So
come on.
That Breitling's grown on me, actually, to be honest. With the separation rainbow.
Model.
Dear God.
It looks quite nice. I mean, it looks like just your standard aerospace in a way, right?
Well,
With the numerals.
It's a spiritual successor to the Breitling Sprint, they say, a chronograph produced in the 70s, featuring a resin case and a pulsometer scale, which was theoretically aided athletes taking their own heart rate measurements. The Endurance Pro is a watch designed for active enthusiasts, and Breitling is even launching the watch with the Breitling Endurance Pro Strava Challenge, a program that encourages wearers of the watch to rack up 500 minutes of any sport that facilitates breaking a sweat and raising heart rate. Amateur athletes competing in that challenge are entered into a draw to win Breitling merchandise, and the prize being a co-branded Breitling and Colnago bicycle. So there you go, and it's something.
So
I kind of like this.
Yeah, my GLC has the pulsometer scale, and I love pulsometer scales, but I just want to put it out there that pulsometer scales are not thought out very well.
Inaccurate. Okay.
Because you have to take the watch off your wrist, right? Because you can't, with two hands, you can't have the pulsometer on one wrist, activate the clickers, and feel your pulse at the same time.
Correct.
So, yeah, it's not.
I kind of like these pieces. They look pretty good.
Well,
If you think about it with Breitling, though, this isn't the first time they've done this. They did it with the Super Ocean range about 5-6 years ago when they had the blue, they had blue, red, yellow. They had a selection of colours with that one as well.
But there's so many colors. I'm surprised Angelina hasn't adopted it yet.
Angelina hasn't adopted yet. Say it again, Clive.
There's so many colors in this line. I'm surprised Angelina Jolie hasn't adopted it.
Oh, you actually said that. I thought that was a break in the signal.
Yeah, that's a rough one. That's.
I'm from South Africa. I can laugh at that stuff.
Yeah.
No, actually.
They're made from a composite called Bright Light, what they've called it, which was introduced in 26.
Bright Light
Material 3.3 times lighter than titanium, 5.8 times lighter than stainless steel. It makes it ideal for sporting applications, but it's also interesting from a material science perspective. It's hypoallergenic, light textured, and apparently warmer to touch than metal.
I kind of like it. It's kind of like a perfect camper watch in a way. You know.
How much are these?
Too much.
$3,000.
Oh,
that's not bad.
Not bad, actually.
Thermocompensated super quartz movement.
Super quartz.
Yeah. No.
This is a gift watch for your brother.
Yeah. Brother-in-law.
Even better, brother-in-law. Exactly.
Brother-in-law.
Brother-in-law.
Look, the thing about these watches, I've said it before about the Breitlings, right? These types of Breitlings and I'm not putting down Breitling at all, but these types of Breitlings are like a lot of tags, right? They're not aimed at us.
Yeah.
They're aimed at the shopping mall scene.
Yep.
Right? That's what it's for. It's a $3,000 quartz that you're going to get for $2,500 or something. That's not aimed at watch enthusiasts, or at least horology enthusiasts.
I mean, this is a discussion we wanted to have. Who are these watches aimed at? All these different coloured watches.
Right. No, you're right, Thomas. You're right.
It circles right back to the Rolex.
We've seen the Bushra, we've seen the Doxas, we've seen these Breitlings. Are they aimed at a younger crowd?
Yeah, definitely.
Yes.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
No, there's nothing wrong with that. No.
It's like the Apple Watch. If it gets you into the hobby, then great.
Well, it's a younger crowd, but they're also fun watches, right?
Yeah.
And this goes full circle back to ID Guide, the video you brought up with Tim Mosso, right? This is also aimed at people that might be not jaded about their hobby, but they need some new excitement, and they don't have $15,000, and it's like, look, hey, a shiny, colorful watch. Why not? And maybe for some people, it's this watch. Maybe it's the Nomos. Maybe it's Rolex.
Or a micro brand.
Yep.
That's true.
That's another valid discussion is how much fun are you having with watches?
Yeah, exactly.
Because a lot of people don't seem to have a lot of fun with them.
Yeah,
I mean,
look, some people, there's some people that it's literally destroying their lives.
Yeah.
And they live in a cardboard box, and but they have a world timer. But
no curtains.
So you should enjoy your watches.
That's a low blow.
That was a low kick.
Talking about Angelina, that's a low blow. Oh, shit.
Look at this Breitling. In all seriousness, you look at this Breitling, and as you look at the Alpina, the SpaceX project or their watch. I mean, that's a much better value proposition. And right now, I mean, you've got
absolutely.
Tech, you've got a watch. It's designed. It's giving you wearable technology as well as a watch. I mean, right now, you can pick those up for under $1,000 US. I mean, why would you touch this Breitling?
No, I agree.
That's one on right now. Jesus Christ, yes, please. They can go back to they have so many interesting things in their catalog. If they brought back something like that or something, or modernized.
You know,
completely agree.
But then again, the problem is it's looking at a completely different audience next to the ones that we're looking at now in the modern sense. This is only for the vintage enthusiast in that way, and more like the watch enthusiast. That's where the reissues come in. You know?
Yeah, we are not the target audience.
No, not for the
we are not the target audience for sure.
If you think about the average, say, early 20s, someone in their early 20s, if they look in the Rolex window, even if they had a Submariner in there, and then they look in the Breitling window, they look at the colours of the Breitling, they look at the price tag of the they're always going to go for the colourful choice. They always are, unless they're into the watches and they know what they're looking at.
Yeah, and you know,
that's true.
And again, right, the average person in their 20s, you have to understand that if they're not a sort of watch enthusiast, for them the sub is not an iconic model, right?
No. It's boring. It's boring.
The iconic Rolex model is the date just, right? If you were, I've said this before, if you were to remove the logo and you would put a sub without any logo, any writing, and you put a date just without any logo, any writing, and you ask someone which one is the Rolex, not a watch enthusiast, nobody will choose the sub, right? The greater public iconic model for Rolex is the date just, and the OP is kind of like the young, more fashionable version of it, and it's colorful, and you know, people gravitate towards that.
Well, Rolex sells more date just than any other kind of watch,
and their biggest audience is the female audience.
That's where they're saying their profit margin is coming from, isn't it? It's coming from the date just market.
And there's a great comment.
That's their bread and butter.
Great comment. CB. The good thing is watch brands are trying to make watches fun. Everybody could use a couple of fun watches in the collection.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. I mean, this is what we're trying to look at now. I mean, why are they making these covers? It's because they want to make watches fun.
Is this part of the Apple Watch getting people into watches? So now the younger crowd have had an Apple Watch for the last 5 years. So now they may want something different, something a little more, you know, tangible.
And if you're and for everybody that thinks that, you know, the current Rolex sports models are sporty and will appeal to younger people, young people will not, most of them will not be willing to play the game either, right? They won't go to the AD and say, so you want me to wait 7 months or 9 months, or, you know?
I mean, I'm the perfect candidate right now. I'm a young person. I don't feel like doing the game at all. It's a pain in the ass. Frankly, it's a joke. Absolute joke. Yeah.
Most young people want to walk into a shopping center or a shopping mall and spend part with their cash or their credit card or their interest-free loan and walk out in the day with a bag and a box.
Yeah, exactly. It's just, doesn't make sense.
But I think what a lot of things one of the things gets talked about and ignored is the fact that at the end of the day, Rolex especially, it's a business, and they've turned the OP range into a cash, you know, into a massive cash income. They're bringing people into the brand at lower, you know, for Rolex, you know, $4,000, $5,000 for one of their watches is quite, you know, low price. They're bringing people in, and then they've got them in the family. They've got them in the Rolex family, and then they're going to sell them a GMT, or they're going to sell them something else down the line.
Exactly.
But you'd be
they're selling people rollies. The Instagram crowd with the rollie. That's what they're selling.
They're inducting or onboarding, as James has said, a new audience.
Yeah.
But James, you'd be surprised.
Which I think is a super smart strategy.
Yeah, it is. But James, you'd be surprised how many of those people, when they graduate, right, quote unquote, they might not go for a GMT. They might go into a date just. And you know, that's where they're making a ton of money by charging you like an extra $6,000-$7,000 for like $1,000 worth of gold. So
agreed.
Or a two-tone, as you say, NS or whatever. They might go to a one-line Jubilee bracelet and two-tone, but they're still inducting new customers or onboarding new customers. Which is what the game plan is, which is great for them.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
All
But
I
do you
can
know-
say to you guys is you're lucky you don't have my daughters.
Congratulating the next one, which is the last thing, Zippo. It's the Nomos Campus 38. And the Club Campus line, released in 2016, was part of a large effort by the brand to appeal to younger people, notably recent college graduates. Hence the name
Oh, for
Campus.
fuck's sake.
Oh my goodness. Purple's coming to
Geez,
play now.
where have we seen these colors before?
Oh, my
Normally,
soul.
No, hang on a sec, Bruce. We've got a purple now.
True.
Gee.
Colour it throughout. And
Man. Come on.
have a in-house caliber developed by Nomos, which is the manually wind.
Somebody to at least bring a brown into play. I mean, brown's a nice warm
Yeah.
chocolate brown colour.
I love it.
If you develop a style, and so these are 1,650. So they're obviously appealing to a young crowd here. So.
But the Club Campus has always been sort of a young people's watch, right? Hence the name. And the really cool thing about the Club Campus is you can have a normal dial, you can have a California dial.
Right.
You have more water resistance than the usual Nomos. That's not like their Ahoy diver. And you can get it for really cheap because you can actually choose not to have the display case back for like less money. So
Mr. Perpetual says Skittles. That kind of nails it out.
Yeah, exactly. Very
Wow,
good,
that's-
Mr. Perpetual. Very good.
that's really,
very
really
clever.
close. Yeah.
I'm not quite sure I like the dial on these though. I mean,
Nah.
they have got the Roman numerals correct for once on a watch, but
They need to have something at the 6. I mean, that 6 being vacant there just looks
Yep.
strange.
Yeah, that's
it looks
Yeah.
Nomos
completely
does
off.
that with a bunch of their watches, and that bothers me.
Is the overall consensus that the bright colours are aimed at young people? I mean, with the Doxa, I mean, the orange was aimed at being legible in deep waters, wasn't it?
It was.
Yeah,
That,
I
was
think
the
it-
ori- that was
I think-
where it originally came from.
yeah. I think Doxa's done it for different reasons. I think Doxa's done it from a tool watch,
Function.
yeah, from a functionality aspect. Whereas I think Rolex have definitely done it to pull in the younger crowd, and also a lot of the 36mm watches will be men and women sharing watches in their collection.
And the
Yeah.
OP34 as well.
I think you hit it on the nail on the head there, James. I think they've all done similar colors. I think they're in a way all aimed at slightly different people.
Yep.
Right? Because I think Rolex it is aimed at younger people. Look, obviously this Nomos, it's the model for young people, right? It's
Correct.
called Club Campus.
Correct.
For Christ's sake. But I think the
Club Campus.
the Doxa, right? I think that's aimed more at more like older people, but like somebody wants.
Thank you, NS.
Yeah, sorry, but somebody that wants a watch that's more like original, more fun, right? And I think the Breitling is sort of the same way, right? I don't think the Breitling is aimed at somebody who's like 19 years old,
No.
but it's aimed at people that want something that's a bit more fun, right?
I mean, they could go from here, from the, what is this, the Club Campus. They could then go to the frat house and then the graduation, Nomos graduation, Nomos frat house. Have a full range in that trilogy. It'd be pretty good.
Yeah, they can join Doxa Nation.
Yeah.
And yet, you see, between them all, like I would actually say that Doxa sits aside from the rest of them. I would say
Yeah.
Doxa is
Very
more
good point.
the tool watch line.
Yeah.
Whereas these are
Yeah, definitely.
these are more fashion watches. Whereas the
Is this a response
Doxa's
to
more tool.
Is this a response to the people who've been, spending the last 5 years looking at the Daniel Wellington bullshit on YouTube?
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Daniel Wellington wasn't even that bold, were they?
I didn't know we were allowed to use profanities on this channel.
Yeah, that is black. That's
Oh, yeah,
good
we
blasphemy.
can't mention movement or Daniel Wellington, Daniel, can we?
But very good point. Just talking about colors in general. Maybe in future we should look at the colors of the watch and ask whether or not it serves the watch's purpose as its function, or if it is just for the sake of vibrance. Think of the GMT Pepsi, for example, or the Batman as a better example. The blue-black combination for day and night sky is just fascinating on that bezel.
And Flippin, maybe you can bring up quickly the link I just posted. It's interesting because ID guy, you were talking about, they could have like a whole range. Nomos actually has a history of using some pretty vibrant color accents, even in their very, very highest end watches. These are the Lux. That's their manual wound.
Hey, that's cool.
Shaped movement, and these are like in Canadian dollars, they're like 24,000 Canadian dollars. I guess like $6 US or whatever it is. But they have. They even have like a. If you go down, Flipping, they even have like a blue teal.
It's quite nice.
So, yeah.
Very German. I like it.
Kind of outside barrel and blue, but.
Yeah, we've got an opinions from Clive and then that's something. Barrel and Blues just bought his first H Moser, and would love to hear what you guys think of them as a company and some of their pieces.
We all love them, basically. I would say most of us here. It's as a brand goes, thinking of it being a brand that was just bought recently, like 2012, and they've completely revamped all of their approaches into being this new category altogether.
Absolutely.
They're doing some great stuff, and it's so unique, man. I mean, we're talking high horology here, and also what I love is the way they've taken the traditional, but have approached it from a more organic point of view. Everything seems to flow. There's some fluidity to the way the cases have been done and the dials, and it all feels like it's a bit more natural.
And they're going from strength to strength. I mean, under the new management, with Ed and the sales director Nicholas and Bert. I mean, they really are going from strength to strength. I think we're going to see some big things from them in 2021.
It's a brand we need to keep our eyes on. I think it's a very, very important brand to watch because they're so unexpected too, which is even the better thing. You don't know what's going to come out next.
Yeah, it's Yeah, no, I was just going to say they're a great brand. Obviously, I'm biased. I really, really like them. But
I'm biased as well.
all the owners are very biased.
But there's a reason for that, right? Yeah. They make watches. They make very few watches, right? Like 1,500 a year. And for a company that's trying to be at that very, very high end, they treat their customers amazingly well. They'll engage with you if you have an issue. I mean, they have this Facebook group, and one person once said, "Hey, like I sent my watch in for service. How long does it usually take?" Right? The person wasn't complaining; they were just asking other owners. And Edouard Milan, the CEO, actually replied and said, "Give me your invoice number. I'll tell you when it's going to be ready. I'll tell you where it is."
Yeah, they're very personalized.
It's so cool.
Yeah, they give you such great service. They treat their clients very well, and it's one of those companies that's not afraid to do
something else.
Yeah, to do something different, and it's like
to piss off a lot of people at the same time.
Yeah, look, it people, but at the end of the day, they're doing what they want to do.
Yeah.
And they're doing it very, very well. And they're, the Milan family didn't just come out of nowhere. Edouard's dad ran Audemars Piguet for many years, for what some people would say were the golden years of AP. So they know what they're doing, and they really have a plan. It's not just they will release watches with nice looking dials. They really do have a plan.
I think we'll see them go in to the numbers of Gerard Perregaux in a very short period of time. I mean, I know when I was questioning if the Streamliner was a good watch or a bad watch, I mean, I looked at the Streamliner and saw it as a stopwatch rather than as a watch, and all of a sudden I got one as a puppy dog cell and I couldn't give it back. It was like I had to have one.
Yeah.
So
I think if you're interested in it now, if you pass on it, in 5 years you'll be kicking yourself.
Yeah, good point.
I basically buy everything in the Moser might get offered now. So I think and I don't think they're overpriced. I mean, look, the Streamliner I thought was overpriced when I first looked at it. Now I don't. But I mean, the new Streamliner. I mean, if you can put it up against a AP, you have to buy from a grade market dealer with a white dial Clive. You're paying $31,500 for, and now you're talking about the new Streamliner was only $20. And really, it's just a beautiful piece, and it's $10K cheaper.
So you have to pay over, until they are overpriced.
And if you go into it, but you have to bring watch.
I mean, look, the AP Rolex ain't $18,000 watch, but really, if you want to get one today, unless you want to wait, you're going to have to pay that sort of money for one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, James Conn saying, does anybody have the Swiss Alps watch? I mean, I don't.
Everyone loves it.
Yeah, that one is actually pretty rare. But I've seen some people with it. It's a really cool watch. They had some really nice designs.
Yeah, my favorite's just the sterile with the tourbillon, black dial.
Yeah, I mean that watch pissed off a lot of people too.
Yeah.
Have you seen the new blinged up version of that ID guy?
No, I haven't. I'm going to look it up right now. I think the full dial is done. I've seen it before. I'm going to check it out.
No, it's all around the. It's fully. If you look up Nicholas, he's got it at the moment. The sales director.
Okay.
Very nice.
But Baron Blue says that's his next target. Is the Swiss Alps watch.
Well, don't hesitate, because these older models they come up sometimes, and they'll. If you see one at a good price, they sell very, very quickly. So if you find one, get it.
Well, all right. We're now at the 2 hour and 16 plus minute plateau. Shall we start to wrap it up?
Or as the ID guy likes to call it, the warm up.
Yeah, this is literally. I'm literally just about to get started, guys.
Is this the point where Clive wants to continue push us to keep going?
Well,
yeah,
Clyde is done with his bath, so he wants to get out.
Hey, Clive, what size AP did you get?
41, I think.
Yep.
I think
I love the green. I think it's fantastic.
Well, and of course, I hate to admit this, the first thing you do is go in front of the door. It's like, Jesus Christ, people are $11,000.
Yeah.
It's craziness.
I think that is it's the beautiful watch, the green. I like the yellow, and I like them all, but the green is my personal choice.
Yeah, it's a really nice British racing green.
Yeah, it's just. The green and the yellow are my preferences. Being Aussie and all, of course, But, but I like them all, every one of them. But I'm disappointed for Zippo that the rhodium dial disappeared.
Yeah,
I think that had it was a great elegant watch as well as a great tool watch. It had everything going for it, but the green is just amazing. I think it's going to be. Everybody's saying that. Obviously, a lot of the other colours will be good sellers, but I think the green's going to be a good seller because it's very unisex.
I'd take the Tiffany Blue 36 if it was me. I don't know why.
I've laid eyes on the turquoise, of course, in 34, and that the color is stunning on that one as well.
Yeah, it's pretty special. I'm wearing blue right now. It seems to be just a color that's always around me, no matter what. So I think it would be quite ideal.
Yellow.
I like the turquoise. I think the turquoise is great. I'd prefer the pink in a hot pink as opposed to the candy pink. But anyway.
Yeah. Right. Isn't it funny that the whole Le Californian thing? What was the name of that company? That was the basic. The whole reason for the court case was It seems like that they just basically got them out just so they could make their own. They had this in the plan all along.
It was a very smart. I mean, I didn't think the legal case was going to fly, but I thought it would. Because you look at Mad Paris in terms of modifications of watches, and Rolex had done a lot of collaborations with a lot of companies like that. I thought they were going to lose for sure, and look how it all turned out.
That's so fun. Can you imagine what the company must be feeling like now, seeing these new these new pieces?
Oh,
yeah.
I know.
It's
Kicking themselves,
doesn't it?
Yeah.
I think it's 2 words, not as you.
Yeah.
I just saw a shot in the dark there. A shot in the dark in the chat, and I'm just wondering, how's your new watch going that you got from Junior? Is it going well?
Hey, shot in the dark.
Of course, we had the Punter Watch Award the other week, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh.
So then, guys.
Anybody have any final thoughts before we wrap this baby up?
The Explorer is growing on me a little bit, I think.
That's probably like my Omega, that it took a few weeks until I really started appreciating it.
Once you start seeing how versatile and how it goes with pretty much anything that you're wearing, and that it's under the radar, I think it's gonna grow on you even more.
Yeah, there's something I must say. One thing that just keeps pulling me back is how well this thing is finished and built. It is solid. It's so sharp. And the best part is, I mean, the owner says, "Wear the hell out of it. Do what you like. Put scratches on it. I mean, that's what it's for. That's what he intended it to be for." So definitely gives you a bit of assurance. You can actually enjoy the watch and not treat it like a kitten.
Well, I was going to say, if there's something out there that you really like that's captured your homework, and get it, don't wait for something that's cool or not.
Yeah. I just feel so fortunate that I have the opportunity to get these kinds of watches hands-on, without having to pay $5,500 for it. So it's pretty special. I'll definitely mention that at the beginning of the review for sure. It is pretty amazing.
Coming out.
Oh wait, guys, Hot Seas. I'm sorry, 99. So I don't violate the orders. So talk to you later, okay?
Yeah, cool.
Take care.
Take care.
See you later, Clive.
Thanks, Clive.
Thanks, Clive.
Anybody else with any closing thoughts?
Yeah, just interesting to see about colored dials, really, isn't it? Just it's not Rolex, the ones that everyone's seen, but it's just interesting to see that there's a lot of other ones out there. And
I would actually love to bring up, if possible, it'd be so nice to see those offshore divers just to finalize this, because those watches have been out for years, since like 2010 or something. And they are almost exactly the same colors, same colorway. And as James said, I mean, the demand for them now on the market must be just disgusting.
I guess we could pull it up.
I
think we're going to see a new trend emerging with colors and colored dials and colored straps, and obviously Rolex has started off a new trend, but really Doxa was the one that sort of started it over a year ago now when they released the Doxas, and they were the first to market with it, first mover.
The question we have to ask is, sorry, Showcase, go for it. I've spoken too much.
Sorry, I was just going to say, just about the H.
There we go.
On about the H Moser and the Pioneer Center Seconds, the green one.
Yes.
And if you know the one I'm talking about. So that watch, I've seen that watch crop up before, and that's over here in the UK at just under 10,000, which I thought, when I saw it crop up, I thought that was reasonably decent value for one of those, because they're beautiful looking. I mean, I don't know much about Moser as a brand. It was just a watch that I saw when browsing one day, and that is a beautiful dial and a beautiful watch.
So the Pioneer Center Seconds was basically made as their first sports watch, and it's made to be an entry level into the brand, but you still get their standard automatic time only movement, which is a great movement. The only thing is, compared to much more expensive watches that they make is you don't get a gold rotor, right? But that's who cares. She still get a great movement, and it's the price you're quoting is the price that they sell for. It's well priced. You get tons of horology at that price.
That's my point.
Great
Yeah,
taste.
because when I was doing the browsing, obviously, I know of H. Moser. I've never owned one. It's not a brand I've ever looked into, but I know they are very high end, very high, high horology. And when I saw it for that price, I thought, God, you're getting into a very good brand and a very good watch and a beautiful looking watch for not a low price, but not a horrendous price.
A rational price.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And you can, if you get it in steel, you can get it with or order a bracelet. And the steel bracelet, how they say like a bracelet's always much more expensive if you buy it after.
Mm-hmm.
If you buy it after the steel bracelet, I think I think I bought one. I should know. I think I remember correctly. It's $1,200 US.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't actually overcharge you for the bracelet. And so you can get it on a bracelet. It's a cool watch.
And their straps, of course, as we know, are also of very high quality.
I looked the Pioneer on the rubber strap that's my favorite watch. It's the watch I wear the most.
Mm-hmm. Just checking out that olive drab on the second row and on the far right, that blog to watch picture. Oh, that's very nice.
Yeah.
The question I have to ask you is, these bright colors, do you think they'll stand the test of time? When we're looking at a watch like this, a tool watch, like Showcase mentioned, being made for its application of being more legible for function, when you look at these bright stellar dial OPs, do you reckon they will, last 50 years and still be as appealing then than they are now?
No, I don't think. I think with the fact that divers and people using tool watches now have computers on the wrist rather than watch, I think the answer to that will probably be no. I think if it had been a watch from the 60s, 70s and actually used as intended, I think they probably would have done. But I think in today's market, probably not. I think trends move so quickly.
But I think the greens and the blues will stand up okay.
Yeah.
And then, but I think that the candy colors won't.
No.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think though, like if you're looking at the AP, right, they probably didn't sell that many of the more crazy colors.
They probably didn't make that many.
Yeah, so if they didn't make that many, they might be rare.
Yeah.
And
they are now. They've come back around. They call it the bumblebee and all those things.
Mm-hmm.
They've swung back around where you're paying $6,000 or $7,000 for them. Now they're worth $15,000.
Yeah, so they might, like the color itself might not stand the test of time, but because they're rare, people might still want them. So it's kind of like a little bit weird. But with the OP, obviously, it's different, right? Rolex will make like, I don't know, like $50,000 of them a year or something like that, right?
Keep pumping them out. Yep.
Yeah, so that's a bit different.
With the AP, if you've got a full set of the colors and NS, you can really put it to auction and get a really nice figure. If you got a full set, box papers, and even still stickered, you can get really good money right now.
Yeah, I mean, look, even probably their most common collar that they would have produced, it's not like they made $1 million a year, right?
No. Well, they weren't good. They weren't good sellers when they made them.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Because they were too outrageous.
And now they're all the rave. It's a joke.
Yeah.
See how these trends just come back and forth.
20-year cycle.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, very much. Very true. So, as when I got them, I loved them. I thought they were great. The orange and the yellow, I loved it.
Yep.
All right. So I think we're at the 2 hour and 30-minute mark there. So once again, we don't want to approach any ID guy record territory.
Not even close. Not even close.
We're way away from an ID.
Miles away.
Judy Johnson, Shot in the Dark, Lex to Dexter, Hans Toes, Roynar, Neo, Old Panel, Carlos, Geezer,
Yes,
everyone in the chat.
Thanks for joining us, and give us a thumbs up, please.
Yeah, thanks everyone for joining. Great chat as usual. Yep, very very fun time.
I need to get my next batch of paracetamols in me.
I thought you were going to have a jug of Negronis.
Oh, yes, please. It's just what I need to cure it, right?
Hair of the dog.
Yeah. Thank you to everybody.
Get back on the horse.
As Thomas mentioned, everybody in the chat, and a big thank you to James Arthur and to ID Guy, and to James Showcase Watches, and we had the Rancher before, and thank you to my friends Enna Something, Neo, Flippin' Zippo, and the immortal Thomas Burnett. Thank you all for joining us, and hope to see you again next Sunday afternoon.
Legends.
Yep.
Take it easy, guys.
Yep.
Cheers, everyone.
See you later, James. See you, Thomas. See you guys.
Take care.
Chris.
Take care, guys.
Neo.
Later, fellas.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.